So, President Donald Trump has claimed that South Africa is currently experiencing white genocide, and South African President Cyril Ramaphosa has denied these claims. Both presidents are meeting at the White House today. So, we're going to see how this meeting goes. We're going to see what these tensions lead to, and if they come to any sort of conclusions together. Also, are there is there any truth to these claims? Is there any evidence behind what President Trump is saying or not? So this morning, I'm going to give you some of the headlines, what both sides of the political spectrum are saying, and then I'm also going to give you some evidence that points to what's really going on. And I'm also going to be giving you a little bit of an inside scoop because I just spoke with a personal friend of mine who lives in South Africa, grew up in South Africa this morning, and he gave me his opinion on what is going on. So let's jump into this. Trump to meet leader of out of control South Africa at White House. This meeting is taking place just a few days after President Trump has said that South Africa is out of control. So the claim is that white Afrikaner South African farmers are being slaughtered or forced to flee their land. Last week, approximately 50 Afrikaners landed in the U.S. seeking refuge, with Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying there is more to come. Rubio also elaborated on the president's claims on Sunday in an interview with CBS, and he said all evidence indicates the farmers in South Africa are being treated brutally. So this is not new. President Trump has regularly been criticizing South Africa, even during his campaign, his 2024 election campaign. He used this same rhetoric, same language. So we're going to get into the idea of, is there any truth behind this or not? And so part of the discussion today between these two presidents will likely revolve around the South African expropriation law, which is a very hard word to say. But the White House has released a statement on this back in February. Essentially, the law allows the South Africa government to seize land from any private owner for government purposes. So this is not, in a lot of ways, this is not okay. No matter who is being treated unfairly based on this law, it doesn't matter. It's not okay for the government to be able to just take people's possessions away, take people's land away. The law essentially claims to have a system of fair compensation when land is seized, but it also allows for instances where no compensation is made. So that's obviously not fair, and it has been criticized for being legally unclear. So if the law is not clear, then there's a lot of loopholes and people can be taken advantage of. So this situation has had a lot of contradictions. It's been very confusing for people. The White House has released an official statement, but also President Ramaphosa of South Africa claimed on X that there's been no such genocide. There's been no act of hatred, no retribution or violence against anyone. So we've got two very differing opinions here, two very differing claims. So I did a little research this morning. This is his post on X. I did a little research and found that there is a long history of racial tension in this country, unfortunately. And I don't want to speak too much into that because I don't know enough about the situation, but I will say that it is a very sad history. And obviously I condemn racism of any form, in historically speaking, and today as well. And so the problem with a issue like this is it can be very easy to start looking through the lens of our own situation and our own experience, or even the nation that we live in and some of the history that we've had. And it can become very confusing and unclear as to what is really going on. So I think that could be part of the explanation why there's such different opinions on both sides. But some of the Associated Press has claimed that some white Afrikaner farmers are actually rejecting the notion that there is genocide. Instead, they're claiming that farmers are admitting to violence in the area, but that it's not race-based and affects both black and white. The article goes on to give little information about the issue at hand. But BBC has also said that none of South Africa's political parties, including those that represent Afrikaners and the white community in general, have claimed that there is genocide in South Africa. So, very interesting. BBC did admit in an article that they released about this that the Afrikaners are also known as Boers, which is a word that means farmer. And this group is still closely associated with farming. And there are essentially some nationalist groups in the country, political parties, whose trademark song is "Shoot the Boer, Shoot the Farmer," so which is sung at political rallies. So I will say that does not bode well. And if that was happening here in the States, it would be seen as a direct threat against political competition and even hate speech. So that's very sad that that's still taking place. So what is the truth behind all this? And what can we expect from this meeting between these two presidents? So here's some research. If y'all want to go read this for yourself, farm attacks and farm murders in South Africa, an analysis of recorded incidents 2019. So obviously this data was collected several years ago, but these things are being reported as still taking place by specific people. And this actually shows that if you look at it, the data is showing that there's around 50 to 70 killings per year. And it also is showing that the trend is that they are targeted killings. So this is not what Trump is saying when he uses the word genocide may be an extreme word, but it's not completely out of the blue where he's getting his information, as far as I can tell based on this research. So what is the inside scoop? My friend who lives in South Africa, who's going to remain anonymous for certain reasons, this is what, when I asked him about it this morning, this is what he texted me. He said, yes, there is a lot of racism and hate crimes on both ends of the spectrum. There are always extremists. And he said, there are unfortunately white farmers being killed, as the news say. That is true. But he said, but to call it genocide, in my opinion, would not accurately reflect the situation, but also not to minimize what is indeed happening and been happening for many years. It's nothing new. And he said, the light is only being shown on it now. And so he also texted me back after that and said, glad you guys are talking about these things. It gets swept under the rug over here. So he grew up in South Africa, currently lives in South Africa. And I would trust his word for it, since to me, he's a trustworthy source. Obviously, he's remaining anonymous for certain reasons. So I would say if you want to know more for yourself, go look at the research. And you can find this at the URL listed up here at the top of this webpage. So we're going to move on. So there's that. A couple other issues before we move on that may affect this meeting. Some of the things that Fox News reports on, some of the tensions between these two nations, the United States and South Africa. Currently, South Africa's ambassador to Washington was thrown out of the U.S. for calling Trump a white supremacist. South Africa took legal action against the U.S. This was earlier this year, I believe. The U.S.'s ally, Israel, accusing it of genocide in its war in Gaza at the International Court of Justice. I remember very specifically it being strange that South Africa was the country that was attempting to bring Israel to court in this international court. Ramaphosa's ruling party, the ANC, has shown support for the terror group Hamas, which is it's kind of crazy to me to just even for that to be true. Trade and military links with Iran and allegedly nuclear cooperation. Also, they've shown support for the designated terrorist group Hezbollah. So those are not good signs, no matter where that's coming from, whichever nation or leader that's coming from. Those are groups and people you do not want to be supporting. So that's sad. Okay, here we go. Moving on. Other news. Trump announces the Golden Dome project for the United States. So exclusive, Trump to announce $25 billion funding for a Golden Dome project. Much like the concept of Israel's Iron Dome, the Golden Dome will create an air defense system that detects and disables threats to the U.S. The Golden Dome project is estimated to cost $25 billion, which just so happens to match the amount requested in the new tax bill that has yet to pass. So we'll see if that comes through or not. The bill would eventually end up costing more, but the initial plan starts at $25 billion. So I'm guessing that that was supposed to say the dome would eventually end up costing more. I wonder what it costs to maintain a $25 billion dome every year. Also, will it be made of gold? Probably not. The Golden Dome will take some time to be operational and will be managed by the Space Force. which we're all still getting over the name that was chosen for that group. Washington Times. Thank God it's not Washington Post because nobody trusts them anymore. After the news that they spread on Monday. If y'all have not seen yesterday's breaking news live stream, y'all go check it out. They definitely were spreading false information, and it's just crazy that they're able to do that. Trump says Golden Dome will be operational in 3 years, taps Space Force officials to run it. Cool. Awesome. Space Force. Sounds like we're living in Star Trek. All right. Next on the agenda, the FDA has dropped its recommendation for the COVID shot for healthy children and adults. Amazing. The FDA has really taken some strides. Trump officials say yearly COVID shots will no longer be approved for healthy adults and children. So the shot is still recommended for at-risk individuals, those 65 years of age and older, or those with health problems that put them at a higher risk. But the move does make it more difficult for those not in the at-risk categories to get the shot, if that's something that people are concerned about. The FDA is now requiring vaccine manufacturers to conduct large studies that evaluate the safety and efficacy of the shot before being able to administer it to healthy individuals. Again, something that definitely should have taken place in the first place. So the new FDA director at the Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research released a statement saying, hopefully he's able to say that word better than I am. This is what he said. We have launched down this multi-year campaign of booster after booster after booster and distrust of the American public, and we do not have gold standard science to support this for average risk, low risk Americans. But we will have a golden dome. So that's one thing. An interesting fallout from this decision could mean that insurance companies will no longer cover the cost of COVID vaccines for healthy individuals. So next in the news, after we get through all of these headlines, The Hill says the Senate passes the no tax on tips bill. So I was going to leave y'all with a tip here, but I couldn't think of one. But either way, it was not going to get taxed. It's the worst joke I've ever thought of. This is not to be confused with President Trump's big, beautiful bill. This is actually a separate bill. This bill is a Nevada state act and was presented on the floor by Senator Jackie Rosen of Nevada and was passed with unanimous consent. That's amazing, actually. The bill continues on to the House, where proponents are now confident it will pass with nearly 100% vote. The bill does have certain limitations, such as a cap salary set at $160,000 for eligibility. I can't talk this morning. It's very unlikely as somebody's working for tips or working with tips on the side is making more than $160,000 a year. So that seems like a good cap. The passing of the no tax on tips bill is a positive sentiment for President Trump's larger bill. Although some people that I've met they get some massive tips. So you never know. They get some crazy. They're really good at what they do. They get some crazy tips. But the passing of the no tax on tips bill is a positive sentiment for President Trump's larger bill, suggesting a likely successful outcome once that bill is finalized and presented. It has just been announced that the bill could be finalized as early as today. So that is breaking news. So last, I would say, and I'm going to get through these awesome headlines here. And I would say least, in case you missed it, a bunch of Yale professors that you've never heard of and will forget about before the day is over are fleeing the states due to the supposed rise of fascism as brought on by the Trump era. They're probably also fleeing the states because they know they can't make as much money being liberal professors anymore. But they have posted a collaborative video showcasing a dramatic warning to the people of America to get out while you still can. One professor actually said, "We're like people on the Titanic. Our ship can't sink." And what you know as a historian is that there is no such thing as a ship that can't sink. So he's saying, hey, we think we can't go down, and Trump is sinking the ship right now. He is the iceberg. But as we know, and many people watching this right now believe, they will be waiting 84 years for their predictions to come true. So another stupid joke for you this morning. And if you've never seen this meme before, you will not understand what I'm talking about. So that's it. That's all I got. Y'all take it easy and have a good rest of your day. Let me know in the comments what you think about the whole situation in South Africa. Obviously, very, very sticky situation and sad. you know, I'll say again, I condemn racism of any sort. And obviously, there has been historical issues that have taken place in that country. And it's very sad when that takes place at all. But also, it can be very difficult for us as humans and as individuals who have experienced different histories in the countries we've grown up in to look at things through a separate lens and to actually look at the facts and see what's taking place. And I would encourage you to do just that. So that's it. I'll see y'all next time.